Hello and welcome to PBCJ Presents, our weekly current affairs discussion series. It is here that we take a deep dive into matters affecting Jamaica land we love. I am Maya Chung. With us in studio, we welcome Cordell Green, Executive Director of the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica. Our topic on this show is the case for regulation of the media in the digital age, but the convo will certainly evolve beyond this. Welcome to the program, sir. It is my extreme pleasure to have you here with me.
Well, on my part, that would be an understatement. It is
I
an
thank you.
extreme pleasure to the third power to be with you.
I am very honored.
With the PBCJ and its audience.
Thank you so much, sir. All right. Regulating internet seems at this point, because we didn't even know that there could be such a thing as a Facebook previous to it spawning all sorts of different things. How does one regulate the digital age?
Yeah. So that's $1 million question. The only good thing is we have always had this debate. We have always had revolutions. It is natural for us now to take radio and television and even print for granted. But they were very disruptive technologies, revolutionary technologies. And I think that's where we have to start, that we have to remind people that there was a time when before television, people did not have that experience. And then you layer on top of that satellite television, satellite radio. And now we have come to the internet, and everything is converging in a single internet platform. What makes it different? Radio waves and TV waves would sort of move beyond your jurisdiction. You know, you could tune your radio and pick up a station in Cuba or someplace close by. That would be accidental. Now it is deliberate. Content is now flowing across devices, across platforms, and across jurisdictions. So you have domestic challenges, regional challenges, and international challenges. You also require different approaches and different thinking. Part of the challenge we have when people raise this question of regulating the internet is there is this assumption that regulation means what it meant in the past. And I'm saying, I don't know. We have to challenge that also.
We have to challenge it because the nature of the paradigm of the internet is in no way, shape, or form the same paradigm as a TV, as a print media.
Exactly.
So you cannot just take off, all right, you have 7 brothers, 7 different minds. You can't take off the shirt off one brother and put it on. They're brothers. They're the same family.
And guess what? And it's not a new argument. I've had to be saying to people
know.
also, hey, hold on. We do not regulate subscription television cable in the same way we do over-the-air television. We don't regulate PBCJ as a cable channel the way we do a TVJ or a CVM. They're different
free
approaches.
To air, yeah.
You know, the principles are the same in terms of good journalism, but the approaches to regulation are different. And so I expect that with the internet, the approaches will have to be different. The key thing is to be pragmatic, and what we do must be fit for purpose, relevant to the age.
I came to a PAJ forum, and as you said, old things have become new again. The context of the COVID-19 pandemic, which drove people into their homes, and in an age where an internet existed, where it didn't necessarily exist 20 years ago, you had everybody and their child now accessing this. We were on no movement days and so on. What do you do? People they weren't going to work. The forum, as we close press week, is what made me realize this is a newness, because coming out of that forum where you and I were, I hear there has been a measurable increase in children addicted to pornography having access to media. Now, media, social media, people don't understand that mediums cover print, and you break them out. You break them out, right?
Yeah.
In addition to that, you're looking at people using media technology to rape, luring people, children, into spaces and taking sexual advantage of them in a country that doesn't have a statutory legal penalty against underage sex, especially perpetuated by an adult against a child. Am I being too harsh?
No. You're doing something that's very important, because we have been thrust in this digital age. There's little preparation and very little discussion about it.
No teaching.
Even what you're saying about media, most people don't think about media in that way, because what we were accustomed to, we would be here and we would sit and we would wait and we would receive information, content created by a source, right? Mystical very often, and it would come through a TV or a radio. Now we have prosumers. We have the consumers of content being content creators, and they don't think about themselves now as having responsibility. But the whole thing has been transformed. We have citizen journalists, a loose term, but lots of people, they just pull out
they're reporting
and they are reporting.
I'm at an accident and I'm reporting, and I'm like,
no, let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. There is a lot of good that is coming out of this democratization of media. If you take George Floyd, a lot of the very awful extreme occurrences, that's ordinary citizens bringing these things to light. What we have to now discuss is that everybody now shares in the responsibility. If you're going to be a purveyor of information and content, you now have an obligation to think about things that media people would think about, but not necessarily the regular man. Defamation of people's character, the harm, the impact of what it is that you choose to put out into the public domain. That's tied up in the conversation about digital media and information literacy.
This is very scary, and it seems impossible to do. We take a break. You're watching PBCJ Presents. When we come back, we examine some more solutions with Cordell Green, Executive Director of the Broadcasting Commission. Stay with us. Welcome back. You are watching PBCJ Presents. I am Maya Chung. My guest is Cordell Green, Executive Director of the Broadcasting Commission. The issue at hand, policing the internet, is it policeable?
Look, we need to guarantee basic protection for people if we are going to have what we call communities and society. That's the role of government. Again, I say to people, is it complex? Yes. Is it complicated? Perhaps not. And why do I say that? Well, we had invented something called a motor car. When we did that, we had no concept of roads, highway, interstate, traffic police, traffic law, stop sign,
driver's license,
all of that. So it's a new paradigm. But guess what? What we know is we cannot. It makes absolutely no sense for us to operate with this exposure to vitriol, extreme hate, access to
Grossness.
unfettered access to pornography,
Inappropriate.
inappropriateness,
And we're talking about the
indecency.
kids. Listen. When I was in my teens when I started in this business, and when I hear now media can be used or technology to manifest rape in 12-year-old in Jamaica, when I hear that children are addicted, you're not even saying them have access,
Yeah.
You know what the addiction is?
And
It's
by
like
the
you go
way,
run
and
bar.
by the way, and I just want to I just want to very quickly make this point, because when we talk about the addiction, I realize that a lot of people actually jump to children. That's a huge problem. But we are living in an age now where the qualifier addiction cuts across the age groups. Even grandparents are addicted to devices. This is happening not because people are irresponsible. It's happening deliberately. Devices are
Also.
because the devices are being made, the software is being developed,
The algorithms
the
are being
algorithms to manipulate.
seduce them.
It's more than seduce.
Yeah.
It's more than seduce. It's not even suggestions
Because
anymore
I can tell
or
you now,
inferences.
if I think a thought and it seems like magic sometimes. I think PBCJ and I'm thinking walking away from the device. I just go back there for something else. I see PBCJ, something, and I'm thinking, but I did not type.
Yeah.
I have multiple devices as you do. It's weird.
And we are
Like witchcraft.
and we are moving to the metaverse. Artificial intelligence is becoming more dominant in our lives.
Explain, because I don't want to. This is an ongoing event. PBCJ Presents will be examining various facets. AI and Metaverse. We don't know what you know, and you are a qualified expert, global expert in this Metaverse ideology. Break it down, because we need people to be cautious, be aware, and understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I actually think there are few experts to go around, and I'm not one of them, because everybody it must learn in this new space.
I agree.
And it requires an omni-stakeholder approach. So we all need to be on this learning curve.
I said that.
But the metaverse, and we are getting to the next phase of this internet experience. It's about, in a sense, virtualizing the real world. Everything that we do now in the real world physically, it's about doing all of that digitally. So we used to sit and watch television, and you know that something is going on and you're viewing it. Now this is not about viewing something. It's about being in it and being a part of it. So soon we will have the Maya avatar, and you may call in and say, I'm not well today, I can't do the interview with Cordell. No problem, Maya. We'll have your avatar do it, right? And or we don't come and engage like this anymore. But that's technologic determinism. Another term.
That's too hard for me.
No. But I want to say it because we need to know these terms and use them.
Yeah.
There are people who are having us believe that this must be, that the world must move in that direction, and it doesn't have to be. I reject.
Zuckerberg is a big proponent. He when he does his interviews, we must.
No. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. We are the people. We are human beings. We must determine whether we want these synthetic, false
life
relationships, right? Where reality is being blurred, and we have to be concerned about our children, because the memories that they're going to form are fake.
Hold on, please. I'm a mom, you're a parent as well, and we were in that forum. It's observable anecdotally, because I watched the in phase of 2020 and the COVID and pushing them towards it. It was there, it was gonna happen, but they're being re-socialized it is not just the deterioration and addictions. They don't know how to be a child. It's like small men and women.
But do parents know how to be parents? Do adults know how to be adults? Do people know how to be people?
Not anymore.
What does human mean in human being when we're having these relationships, closer acquaintance with these devices? So, so we need an across the board discussion and to get back to basics, because I believe children are actually manifesting before our eyes the dysfunctionalities that exist in our society, where, for example, it's normal and celebrated for people to give children devices. You don't see people talking about
I'm guilty.
Lots of people. But here's the thing about it. The experts have said a child under 2 should have no interaction with any device. Television, iPad, whatever. Oh my God, you know that my 6-month-old baby can program the phone and so on? That's a bad thing. That is not about my child is a young Einstein. But is this information shared? Do people actually do we have discussions about we are in this new age, devices are part of the age, and they're going to be a part of the age. The United States Supreme Court Chief Justice made a remark in a case he was doing, and he said if an alien came here, they would actually think the smartphone is a part of the human anatomy.
And we'll have to take it there when we come back from the break. More with Cordell Green, Executive Director of the Broadcasting Commission, on this very emotive topic. Stay with us. Welcome back to PBCJ Presents. My name is Maya Chung. My guest is Cordell Green. The topic is Policing the Internet, Executive Director of the Broadcasting Commission. You were making a very salient point before we went to the break. I'd like you to just, my 6-month-old is...
Yes, I was saying that we are not Luddites. We're not anti-technology, anti-advancement. That is just part of us being human. We're the ones creating these things. What we need to understand is that we shouldn't be slaves to devices. They are to assist us. They must not direct us.
We've already become slaves.
Yes, but we need to stop this. We need to stop this. Enslavement is never a good thing. Parents need to understand that these devices are not good babysitters. They're not substitute for parents. Any parent who is using a device to babysit a child is being a very, very bad parent. Not deliberately so, but that's not good for the child. So I would say to every young mother now, every pregnant woman, every father-to-be, every young father, every grandparent, every citizen. We are on Google all the time. We are on social media all the time. Just go and Google safe use of devices based on age and stick to what the experts say. Now, it's going to be difficult because they have actually put time limits on children up to 17, where the time a 17-year-old spends now on a device far
some 17-year-olds are on it for 23 hours of it, especially globally.
Well, you go 17, 16, 15, you go right down to 12, 11, 10. But we need to recognize that is a problem. It's creating addiction. It is feeding this exposure to pornography. Parents are not supervising anymore what their children are doing because a lot of them actually see the technology as estranged from them, as coming from another age. And all of us have to get immersed now. All of us have to try to understand what is going on.
So,
don't leave the formation of our society to a few billionaires and tech companies.
Listen to me and tell me if I have a point. You never would have give a 6-month-old or your 8-year-old a car and say, go on, you know. Why is it that we feel that they know the field is open? They know the kids getting around the child safeguards. Why do we feel, what has...
No, but that's an assumption. I don't believe when people give children these devices, they fully understand the power or the danger of what they're doing. That is
They
why...
don't.
No, this is why this discussion is so important. You know, I read on Google last week, there's a man in the United States gave his phone to a 6-year-old, right? Just to get the child to go to bed. Then the doorbell kept ringing. All of these people turning up, delivering chicken wings and pizza and all kinds of
It's
things,
not funny,
right?
but yeah.
$1,000 went from his, as a matter of fact, it would have been worse had one of the companies, the credit card company,
So we
not
say
said, hang on a minute,
activity
there's something fishy going
on your
on here.
activity.
He ended up having to feed the neighborhood, right? And when he went up to
sorry.
talk to the 6-year-old to say to him, what are you doing? This 6-year-old is saying, Daddy, has the pizza come as yet? I mean, what's going on here? Our children are not developed at that age to know the power of the device. So
They know the magic of it.
they know that. No, you have hit the nail. And let me shake you. I've never heard it so well put. It is magical. Everybody sees it as magical.
Even me.
But don't
I
we
won't
pay
lie.
to go and see magicians?
What?
Right. So let us all agree then that what we need to do is to focus on
Digital literacy.
media and information literacy, and there are different elements of it. There's media literacy, which is about understanding how to select, evaluate, and use media.
The content.
That's media literacy.
Okay.
You have another concept that is called information literacy, which is about the importance of accessing information, evaluating and creating information. There is ICT and technology literacy, which is where a lot of us focus, the ability to
ICT
actually...
broken out is information computer
communication technologies. But that's about the devices.
yeah.
And that's where a lot of us develop the expertise in using the devices. And then there is digital literacy, which is about effectively and critically accessing and evaluating information in multiple formats. The ability, for example, to use a spreadsheet, which is going to be commonplace in the age in which we live. So these are just new literacies that all of us require for the digital economy and society.
All right. Is this doable? It sounds too vast. When you put verse like metaverse and universe and people already have that in there, it sounds like it's...
Yes.
Tell us how.
That would have been
give me the first step.
That would have been like
the
how
1,000.
we see. That would have been like how we see man going to the moon or something.
Right.
The first thing is that this question of digital media and information literacy cuts across all sectors of the society. So it is not like we just say, oh, embed this in the school curriculum and have a class that is called the digital literacy class. That doesn't make sense. You go to math class, English class, geography class, the teachers in there need to have these literacies and be able to integrate the literacies in the subjects that they teach. You have the employers who need to also be digitally literate and employees, because there's a whole other thing now having to do with labor and the future of labor. Again, discussions about what we as human beings find acceptable. Should an artificial intelligence device be deciding whether you get a bank loan?
And we have to take it there on this very important and serious topic of policing the internet and the digital
Well, could we perhaps say governing the internet?
Sounds better.
Policing gets all kinds of things going off in people's heads, and we're not at that stage as yet. We have to figure out what kind of governance framework works for all of us.
It is a better word. My guest today has been Executive Director of the Broadcasting Commission, Cordell Green, and he has made some really good points, pointed out some really good things. You've been watching PBCJ Presents. I am Maya Chung, and I'd like to thank my guest for being my guest today. And you stay tuned for more on our station.